Hi, hello, good afternoon. It is the 11th of December 2025, a month after Remembrance Sunday. And as promised, I did say that after I had had a meeting with my support worker from 3P, that I would let you know whether or not I have legally been evicted under a Section 21 by my landlord. And at this moment in time, the answer from Nunneaton and Bedworth Borough Council is still undecided. And that decision at this moment in time has not been made by the homeless prevention team, who I contacted on the 8th of October 2025. This decision of undecided has been made by the home chosen team, and that was made last Thursday. So it was made the Thursday before the Tuesday that I was due to potentially leave the residency of a property that I've been renting for 9 years under me being served what they call a Section 21 notice, which is called a no-fault eviction. And up until Thursday of last week, I had the homeless prevention team telling me it's valid. You're not under environmental health. It's valid. Environmental health believe it's valid. It's valid. Only for the home chosen team to turn around and say to me last Thursday, we do not believe this is a valid Section 21. This is why it is really, really, really important for people who are being served any notice of eviction, whether it's a Section 21 or a Section 8A or whatever, from your landlord, that you seek support and guidance from your local council, your county council if necessary. Look on the shelter website, which is what everybody uses, okay? Shelter, if it wasn't for shelter, a lot of these organisations would have fell flat on their ass by now. And also Citizens Advice Bureau. So shelter, Citizens Advice, and your local council. If not your local council, then your county council. And if needs be, see if you can get legal advice from a solicitor. Some will offer a free half-an-hour consultation. Some will actually help with homeless prevention applications through legal aid. But again, it's not clear as to who will help you with that. So up until last Thursday, I was told by homeless prevention my Section 1 was valid. So up until last Friday, I continued to empty the property that I have been renting for 9 years. And you can probably see behind me, there are some things still here. That's purely because the moment I got told by the home chosen or home choose team, your Section 1 might not be valid, when I got home on Friday, I had a letter sitting on the floor in the property, which appears to potentially be a new Section 21, which again, I have now got to wait for the Nunneaton and Bedworth Borough Council to say, is it valid, yes or no? So, as you can imagine, like anyone who's obviously been served a notice like this, I have done everything I can to try and empty this property. Most of the stuff that is still here is going to go to the charity shop, or it's going to end up in landfill. And that just breaks my heart that that's going to happen, but that's life. And what is also add insult to injury is, if the council are now saying my Section 21 is not valid, how many other people have they done that to this year? I got told by them, we don't care if you've had a payout from PIP. So that answers another question that people have asked me in the past. Did you get your personal independent payments reinstated? The answer is yes, I did. And like most people who have now got it reinstated, they're giving it with you with one hand and now they're trying to take it away with the other. So the moment I got that reward of 3 years benefits paid into my account, it made me legally not allowed to apply for council properties. Just like that. Sorry, we fucked up. We've not paid you for 3 years. Here's your money, but now you're being made homeless and the council have no obligation to support or house you until the money in your bank account is below a certain threshold. And as you can imagine, like most people, some stuff, yes, you will throw away, and then there'll be certain things of sentimental value or, stuff that you don't want to have to keep going out and buying, even though you can literally get clothes for your back for like £1 from some charity shops. I have paid for storage. And that has been really, really, really hard for me to do because I've had to use my benefits to do that. Just like if I was working, I would have used my wages. I've had a child with autism who, because of his disability, I can't just throw stuff away. And with my own mental health and well-being, again, there's a lot of documentation, a lot of medical history. There's certain specialist equipment that I use at the house, and I can't afford to just go out and buy that again. And it's things like that people don't take into account when somebody is served Section 21 or somebody is forced into homelessness. You may potentially be in a property where, maybe you've had permission from the landlord, maybe you haven't, but you have then made that house disabled friendly for your needs. So you may have put an extra handrail on. You may have put a step in to get in and out of the property with your wheelchair, or a ramp. You may have put hand grips above the bath or in the shower or at the front door and the back door. You may be using specialist timers or equipment in the kitchen or the bathroom or the living room. And some of that stuff that people use, which whether they claim PIP or not, because PIP is apparently supposed to be given to you based on how your disability or illness affects you on a daily basis. But if you are then having to use aids in order to make your house adaptable and usable and friendly for you to use on a daily basis, the moment you're made homeless, you've literally got to then find somewhere, but then put in all of these adaptations again. And this is what has been happening with a lot of homeless people and people who are disabled. They may or may not have been given a property, but it might not be disabled friendly, and they have to adapt that property, whether it's through savings or grants or, charitable schemes to do so. So like myself, there's certain stuff in this house that if I was to go out and buy it again, I'm looking at thousands and thousands of pounds. And I can't afford to be paying out £1,000 or £2,000 for equipment for me and my child just because my landlord, after 9 years, has got a bug up his ass and has decided, I don't want you as a tenant anymore. And, and I don't mind paying for storage, but what I resent is the fact that I've paid for storage for 2 months when I wouldn't have needed to if the council had been upfront and honest with me and said, your Section 21 isn't valid, your landlord has got to go back to their solicitor and issue you a new Section 21. Then I could have probably saved myself money on storage. And that is where, when people are saying about costs that are incurred, or, whether it's cost to the council or to the individual, that people are not seeing. It's when these mistakes are being made. And I'm not just talking about a little mistake here. I'm talking about a major mistake. A mistake where, I had 5 members of staff telling me at the council, your Section 21 is legal. And then all of a sudden, when push come to shove and I needed to be rehoused within potentially 48 to 72 hours, I got told it wasn't. And all I thought of at that point was, At least I've not taken a space away from somebody else who needs it. But why has it taken 8 weeks for the council to realise that they have made this fuck up and they've made this mistake? And if they've made it with me, how many other people have they done that to this year? How many other people like me have gone into maybe panic mode and gone, I've got to put all my stuff in storage, I've got to put all my stuff in storage, only to find that they didn't even need to move in the first place? Or there was no legal grounds in which their landlord could evict them. But because they've had that Section 21 or that eviction notice and they've not known where to get support from or guidance from, that they have intentionally but unintentionally made themselves homeless. They've intentionally made themselves homeless in the eyes of the council, but unintentionally made themselves homeless because of the lack of guidance, support and information that is readily available. So this is why I am trying to share this information. It's because I do not want other people to suffer the way I've suffered, and I have suffered. Despite having to go constantly to the council house, which has taken time out of my days where I'm supposed to be supporting and homeschooling my son. Yes, I still have been doing 36 hours, if not 40 hours a week. That has not changed. But I've had to take him with me to the council house. I've had to take him with me to meetings. And when I haven't been able to take him, I've had to pay for childcare, just like if I was working or, so I've been incurring the same costs as a working parent. So that is what it is. But these meetings have been unnecessary. Not only have they been a waste of my time, it has been a waste of Nunneaton and Bedworth Borough Council resources, when they could have been using that time and that service to support somebody else more in need. And that is the one thing they kept banging on about in the meetings was, there are people worse off than you. There are people who are sicker than you. There are people that are more disadvantaged than you. There are people who are going to be homeless before you, so we will help them first. I'm not saying don't help them. I'm saying don't waste my fucking time by telling me to come down to the council house and sit there for an hour having you tell me that all the mistakes that have been made are my fault, and that because of my participation in my homeless application, that things have not moved forward quickly enough. When the fact of the matter is, the fault wasn't even mine to start with. It took one lady 45 minutes to an hour to sit down in front of me and go, right, Katrina, name, current address, illnesses, disabilities, ongoing medical treatment, supportive network, who are you responsible for, who do you care for, who lives with you, what are they, do I have any illnesses, disabilities, or any ongoing treatment that needs due care and attention. Ideally, if we could house you, where would suit you the best? Okay, let's look at your Section 21. Wait a minute. I don't believe this is valid. I'm sorry. You're going to have to leave. I've got to suspend your application, and I will get back to you in the next 24 hours. Or 24 to 48 hours. It is now been a week since I've spoken to this lady. And yes, she did speak to me on Friday, and she has been absolutely brilliant. And I'm not going to name names, but she has been amazing. And I'll tell you what, if you got her at the council house, I'm even going to write in a letter saying, if it wasn't for this woman, I think things would have been a hell of a lot worse off for everybody involved. But I do not agree with the fact that she has done somebody else's job for them. And it's only because of her due diligence, I can never say that word properly, and the time that she took to physically sit there and go through everything with me, that she picked up on these mistakes that should have been picked up 8 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, but to be picked up in a 45 to an hour's meeting 4 days before I was supposed to leave the property that I've been renting for 9 years, I think it's just disgusting. All I hope is that whoever was given the property that I would have been awarded has not been treated as badly as me, and that they're in there, and that they're safe, and that they're warm, and that they're dry, and that they're having the help and support they need to pay the council tax, to pay the rent, to pay for the gas, electric, water, food, everything they're going to need whilst they are in sheltered accommodation. Because like I've been saying for the past 8 weeks, if I legally do not need to leave the property that I've been renting for 9 years, then why would I leave? Why would I take away a bed in a homeless shelter or a hostel that can be given to someone else who's in more of a need of it than me? So just to clarify, at this moment in time, Nunneaton and Bedworth Borough Council are saying to me that they are undecided as to whether or not my Section 21 that I was served on the 8th of October 2025 is legal. Thank you.